Okay. How's this?
Okay, the wind's come.
It's coming back.
The wind's back now. Yeah,
Here, it should be gone now,
yeah,
is it?
that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, this will be interesting. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Let's give it a shot. Hey there, everyone. I'm Don Forster, Professor Goway, and welcome to the Industry Insiders webinar. Here from expert guests, including conservationists, explorers, tourism professionals, and everyday globetrotters to discover fascinating stories in the world of travel and be inspired to travel far and to travel often. Inspire, motivate, educate. Goway Pro Industry Insider webinar. Now, today I'd like to welcome Jennifer Murray. Now, Jennifer, people may know, tuned in one of our webinars before with Jennifer, talking about groups, is Irish, and Jennifer is coming to us live from Ireland. So, Jennifer, whereabouts in Ireland are you?
Well, firstly, I have to apologise, Don, because it's a bit windy down here, but I am here in my hometown of Dublin. So I'm actually, if you can see in the distance here, this is the famous 40 foot. Don't know if you can see it, but it's just right on the coast. So it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's a windy day. So, but it's sun is shining. You can't beat Ireland in the sunshine.
Lovely. And again, Jen has sort of hidden herself down on the foreshore there in the rocks to fight that wind. So we do apologize if the wind gets in the way of our conversation today. So Jennifer is head of our groups department. And today we're here to talk about what type of group are you? Meaning, what types of groups are there out there? Is there someone in the back? People walking by you, I say here.
It's a beautiful place to take a walk in lovely County Dublin.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'll edit that out, but we'll go from there. So Jennifer is in charge of our groups department, and today we're here to talk about what type of group. Thank you. I'll try that again for the third time. Jennifer is head of our groups department, and she's here live from Ireland today to tell us or to talk about what type of group are you, meaning what types of groups are out there. And they are as diverse as, I guess, how long is a piece of string really when it comes to what type of group can you look at when looking at group travel. So, Jennifer, you want to just fill us in, I guess, a little bit about our subject matter today. What type of group are you?
Yeah, I got excited about this topic because I think I'm relatively new to the groups department in Goway, 2 years now. And I think historically I would have thought of groups as large motor coaches, tend to be the older clientele who are going off exploring the likes of Ireland and who wanted everything organised for them. And I've realised since joining Goway, groups is so much more than that. It really is. If you know 10 people, you can put a group together. Be it a girls' trip. I literally just had a girls' trip to Rome last weekend. That's a girls' group traveling. We do golf groups. We do so many different themed groups. If you have a group of golfers that want to go away, knitters. Who knew there was a big demand for knitting groups going to the likes of England or even going to Ireland as well? So really, as you said, Don, how long is a piece of string? As long as you have 10 people, that's what we consider a group. And what we do is we customize and tailor make everything to suit you. So it doesn't matter how quirky the idea is. We even had a funeral director group where people wanted to go and visit funeral homes in Italy. So there's so many different types. I suppose we just wanted to get the message out to all of our travel industry friends that you might not think that you fit into the traditional type of group, but there's so many more out there, and we want people to be excited about them.
Right. So I think a good way of defining this would be to forget the term group equaling numbers, but group equaling pastimes, hobbies, clubs, that type of thing. So as you mentioned, like I hadn't heard of the funeral group. That was one that did take me by surprise because I've seen and heard most groups out there. To highlight the knitting one, though, I've used this story often when talking about groups because we had, when I was an overland driver many years ago, we had a Canadian girl on our trip and she was a knitter. She was a textile nut. She was a beautiful girl, but she was crazy. And we were in Bolivia and she fell in love with all the textiles because if you've been to the Andean countries in Peru and Ecuador and Bolivia, the textiles are amazing. And she was amazed by the quality, the craftsmanship, etc. And she was running around this town called Potosi in Bolivia asking to buy the chulus, which are the head things that you see locals wear, off their heads. And the boys were more than happy to sell them because to them it was just like a hat. But for her, it was priceless because the craftsmanship, etc. So she went home, she presented and showed all her knitting buddies these textiles. And lo and behold, I heard about 2 years later, she was back in Bolivia with a group of like-minded textile nuts, cruising around Bolivia looking at all the textiles. So that's how a group can come about, by one person discovering it, or as Jennifer is mentioning, if you have a contact or you are that contact in a group, away you go. So our groups, as you mentioned, are 10 or more. What would be the biggest group that we've dealt with? Not sort of the big, because we work with the Lions clubs and people like that, but sort of what's the largest recreational group that we've handled?
We've had very large groups. As I said, we obviously have some of those big sporting events that we handle as well. The average group size, just to let everyone know, is about 21 people. That's the average group size that we have. But we do have larger groups. You might have 60 to 80 people, especially people that are coming to Europe and they're doing, pre or post cruise groups. That's very popular for us as well. But as I said, the average is 21. And depending on what destination you're going to as well, sometimes the destination suits smaller groups. Sometimes it suits larger groups. So that's really where our group specialists are here to guide you and to help you and say, yeah, this is a suitable destination for a larger group. Or again, depending on what type of activities you're looking at, you might be better off only having 12 people. So that's where we can really, really guide you. Like as you know, John, we've been doing this a long time. We're in business almost 55 years, and we send a lot of groups away every year. And we love putting stuff together that's a little bit quirky as well. So no matter what you think, if you think it might be a bit strange, let us know, because we love a challenge.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering too that these groups are all private services for the group in question. Yep. So even though you might have a large coach of people, they are your people, so to speak. Yep. And the itinerary is designed specifically to the group's interest, be it a sole interest, let's go back to the textile type thing, or just a general interest. Like it doesn't have to always be a hobby based, or, it doesn't have to be photography or cuisine or whatever. It could just be a group of friends. Another group I used to deal with, they used to work at a bank and then they retired, and there was a travel club at the bank, but after they retired, they weren't part of that travel club anymore, but they got together and traveled annually, and they just traveled to Chose together as friends and picked different countries. So it wasn't theme-based, for want of a better term, it was destination-based. So group doesn't have to be a photography group per se. It could just be a group of buddies, male, female, mix, whatever, gay, straight, the whole realm we can handle.
Shebang.
Yep. To a destination of choice. And back to my original point, that the itinerary is designed for that group based on their interests. So you have private transfers, private guides, and due to our group's expertise and experience, we can get you into places sometimes earlier, not always, sometimes a little bit later as well. Special events can be arranged for you. Like I've often had groups do private dinners at certain museums around Peru. Yeah. So all that can be arranged for you. So Jennifer, if someone's looking at a group, be it themed or otherwise, what's the process in getting it underway?
Literally give us a call. Contact our group specialist and they'll be able to guide you from start to finish. All you need to do is come with an idea. And let us do the work for you. So it's as simple as that. And we don't abandon you as soon as you book the group either. We're here to help you every step of the way, be it doing different customer presentations, getting marketing material together. Like sometimes, the group you might just have an idea that I want to do a shopping trip in Paris or go for fashion week or whatever it is. And you need help in marketing that group. We're here 100% along the way as well, because we want your group to be a success.
Okay, so we'll touch into the assistance with marketing in a minute, but within Goway we have, I guess, there's two types of group. We have a spec group, and then I'm not sure what the other term is, but like not a guarantee group, but basically a spec group is where a travel partner comes to us with a concept or an idea that they have, and they then want to sell that concept to their contacts or just out in the general marketplace. So that's what we term as a spec group. And then you have agents, travel partners will come to us and say, I have 10, 12, 15 people who want to do this. So is there any difference in setup or structure if it's a spec group or again, I don't want to use the word guarantee group, but a organized group? Let's
Yeah,
use that term.
yeah, that's a perfect way of describing it. Like spec is like you've got an idea. You think you think you do a great job of selling a culinary trip to Italy, for example, and you want to market that idea to your community or that. Again, what we would guide you on, how many rooms should we hold? How many do you think you would sell? And the key thing there is communication. You might say, do you know what? I think I might have 20 people, but you end up having 40 people. That's where our group specialists, again, will guide you to say, do we need to reduce the numbers? Do we need to increase the numbers? If you have your people, that's different then. We can sort of really, get a solid plan together for you. So, but again, our group specialists are the experts. We're here to guide you along the way.
So let's role play. So I come to you with a concept or an idea. You and I would work on a rough outline of an itinerary. Am I obliged at that stage to put any money down?
No, not straight away. What we want to do first of all is make sure that we have got the itinerary that you want and that you're happy with. Okay, so the first stage is you're going to contact us and say, I've got an idea of, we're going to pick a yoga group in India, for example, and our group specialist will listen to everything that you want. Get your wish list, and they'll together you'll come up with a really great itinerary. So and make sure that we're getting the price point that you want as well, and we're ticking all of the boxes. Once you have your itinerary and you're happy with everything, then what we ask is that you put down $1,000 deposit, and that initiates the booking process.
Okay, so I know the answer, but we'll explain to our listening audience. So 1,000 basically equates to $100 per person based on 10. And again, that comes back to 10 or more as a group as far as Goway is concerned. And on that note, so if a travel partner comes to us with 10 or more, or if that travel partner goes to their normal agent, let's say they booked Australia before with Alice, but they come to Alice with, I have 12 people going to Australia. Alice will bump it to the groups department because in Goway, 10 or more is a group, and there is a different dynamic to arrangements and logistics. So that's where it goes across. But the deposit remains roughly $100 per person based on a minimum of 10 people. Now, if I say 10's great, but within, say, a month, I say, I might have 15 people. Do I have to pay more for my deposit, or does the deposit stay the same?
The deposit stays the same. So whether you have 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, or 10 people, the deposit remains at $1,000.
Okay. And that deposit is non-refundable. Is that correct?
It's non-refundable. However, just say that you've booked a group to Italy, for example, Don, and for whatever reason, Italy doesn't work for you this year. You can transfer that deposit to another group next year. We say you've got a one-time transfer for that $1,000 deposit, and it has to be rebooked within a year. Not traveled in a year, just rebooked within a year.
Rebook within a year. Okay, so that's good. So you've really got a big window because, again, we also know groups, overall, they're easier in that you are booking or you're creating one itinerary for multiple people. So that's easier than, doing 15 different itineraries for 15 different people. But on the flip side, getting 15 people to agree is like herding cats at times. So we understand there is a difficulty there in coordinating multiple people. And as such, that's why we build in that flexibility of being able to move deposits because things can happen, be it geopolitical or be it within the group, something happens and a key member can't travel at that particular time. We allow that postponement, rescheduling, and the transferring of the deposit. So as things move forward, now because each group is always different, each booking is always different, FIT or group, final payments and other deposits will vary based on the itinerary. So, for example, basically fall back to my Latin area. If you're doing a Galapagos cruise, certain deposits will be more due earlier because it's a cruise versus a hotel. So that would I also apply with groups because of the multifaceted aspect of a group itinerary.
Yeah, exactly. So again, depending on the destination, you're right. Something like Galapagos, they may require payment sooner. For the most part, we require full payment 90 days prior to departure. That's the standard, but there are certain destinations that will require payment earlier than that. But we will certainly let you know from the offset, okay, this is what the payment plan is going to be. And we're very clear about that.
Yeah, so that way you being the travel partner out there can advise your group about when payments are due so people can budget for it. Can people make sort of payments as they go? Like, I guess, can you
Absolutely.
pay $100 a week or whatever it may be
We
towards your group being either let me back up. So that question, one, can you do multiple payments over a certain period of time? And two, who makes the payments to Goway? Does it have to be the travel partner or is it the individual travelers or combination of both?
It can be a combination of both. John, we will never refuse money. If people want to make a payment every day for the next 3 months, we'll accept it. The travel provider,
Right.
we send a link, a payment link, and you can share that with your guests and they can pay us directly if they like. Makes no
Okay.
difference to us whatsoever. Whatever's convenient for the clients. We know some people like to budget and might say, every paycheck we're going to throw off a couple of $100. Whatever suits you and your group, that's no problem. Right. And then what happens is every 24 hours when a payment is made, we will send you an updated invoice to say, who's paid what, so you can keep track of everything as well. It really makes things easier for everybody.
That's good to know. And again, as you say, it's convenient and ease. So from a travel partner's point of view, when you, Goway, returns or gives them the quote, let's just for the sake, making the numbers easy, it's $1,000 per person for your group trip. Is that quote net to the travel agent or is it gross to the travel agent and they have a set commission they work off?
Yeah, it depends on it depends on the travel partner that we're dealing with. Certain consortia have different agreements with Goway. So it's very important from the offset. We will ask you if you would like a gross rate, if you would like a net rate. We will agree that with you whenever you're booking that quote.
It's flexible and built around what the travel partner needs and requires for them personally or their agency and or their clients out there, correct?
Exactly. And they're all conversations that you'll have with your group specialist as well. And it will be outlined in the quote if it's a gross rate or a net rate. And obviously we'll make it very clear if it's a net rate that you need to mark it up for your clients.
Okay, so the group has deposited. We discussed the payment plans, all those type of things. So on the assumption you have people coming through the door and they're making their payments however they want directly to Goway or via the agency that's working with Goway. We have seen at times where either you get like agent says I want 20 or it's profitable for them at 20, they get 10. That was easy, but now they're having troubles getting the last 10 people on, or it's the spec group and they go out to their contacts and push whatever itinerary they've created, but they're not getting the pickup, for want of a better term. So how can Goway assist in helping marketing a particular itinerary to the respective agents' groups?
What I would say is don't wait until you're at the stage of, oh my goodness, I have to fill these numbers. Okay. Use us from the very beginning. And we're doing a lot of this lately where, again, you've booked a trip to, let's say, Australia, and you think you're going to have 30 people. What I would suggest with your group specialist, we can arrange to do a customer presentation with your audience. And, you can promote that on social media. There's no charge or anything. And what we can do then is we can help you sell that itinerary. So I suggest do it before you get to that lastminute.com situation. So do it within the first month. See if there's been any uptake. If there's not, we can certainly put a presentation together. And we design that presentation for you. And, more than happy to join you and your clients in chatting about the wonderful itinerary together that we've put together. And then also the important thing is to have a call to action, book by this date. And sometimes agents will throw in an early booking bonus or something like that. But that's what I would suggest. Historically, people waited until, just say that you have to release space by a certain date and they're panicked, a week before thinking, I haven't sold all that space. Let's not wait for that. Let's be proactive as opposed to reactive. And again, that's the conversation you'll have with our group specialist. We'll say to you, how are you planning on marketing this group if it's a spec group? And please, again, we want your group to travel. We're in the business to make money. So we don't make money if your group doesn't travel. So we want your group to be a success. So what I would suggest, utilize us.
Yeah. So I think it's there are two important points there. One is having one of the Goway group's experts with you at a presentation.
Yeah.
Now, you may be the yoga specialist or the textile expert or the photography expert, and we wouldn't dare to encroach on that expertise, but we are the experts at the destination. So combined, you talking about your yoga experiences and the experiences they'll have on that particular trip, with the Goway expert talking about why Costa Rica or why India is perfect for yoga, makes a very enticing sales pitch to potential group members. So definitely take advantage of the expertise that we have in our groups department. On that note, how many people do we have in our groups department, roughly?
We have 32 group specialists now, which is absolutely incredible.
And that was said with a very Irish accent. 32.
32. Yes, there you go.
32.
32. And I think we're from 17 different destinations as well. So it's incredible.
So there you go.
Yeah. So utilize
there's an absolute wealth of experience there in selling groups and also destinational knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that that was mentioned by Jennifer there in her suggestions on marketing is when you are building your itinerary and you're working prices, it's always good to work in a buffer for a whole lot of different reasons. But one is to be able to offer discounts or early bird discounts, early booking discounts. So you're not chewing into your final end profit margin that you need to match. So it's always enticing to go out there, particularly, and we've seen a lot of success over the many years I've been selling travel, that if you do a presentation and on the night, book tonight and save $200 per person or whatever the thing may be. And you can work in different, it doesn't have to always be $1 saving. It could be built into it. It could be a free night if you book now, that type of thing. That's also very, very enticing. Another thing in helping marketing it is making your itinerary different. Now, every itinerary will be different by its own nature, but work with the group's expert to build in a special night, something that the average trip wouldn't have, and that will bring people to you versus maybe another group person out there, because there's lots of people doing this as well. And we apologize for the noise in the background. I think Jennifer's got some local Irish people walking by her at the moment.
I think they're Spanish, actually. We've got all the tourists come down to this part of the coast. But yeah, I agree with you there, Don. And that's the thing as well. Remember, Goway is famous for this. We're not, and especially in the groups department, we're not necessarily your cookie cutter type of itineraries.
Yeah.
We thrive on doing different things. We want your group to be different. And we want to immerse yourself in each destination as well. So come to us with a challenge if you have a quirky idea. And the great thing about groups is we can sometimes do different things that individual travelers may not be able to do, like renting out a special place to have that, incredible culinary experience, or, doing meditation with some monks in whichever destination. That's the great thing about groups. We have a bit of buying power with that. So, and go on to Goway, go on to our groups only webpage as well. We have some phenomenal sample itineraries just to tickle your taste buds a little bit. And again, if there's something you like or something you don't like, we can change it. These are just ideas, and we customize everything.
Yeah, and that's also worth pointing out. If you think you want to go to Peru or want to go to India, but you don't know where to begin with the actual itinerary structure, then check out our website, FIT website, as well as our group's website. And that's a good starting point to get some inspiration, and then go to your group's expert, and he or she will then help you tweak it to what you need or what your group needs. We've got a lot of wind happening again, Jen. Okay, so I think we'll wrap up because this has been technically challenging today, to say the least.
It's going to be great, Tom. It's going to be great. It's authentic.
I'll see what magic I can do. We are going to try and wrap up now because we're battling the wind in Dublin, which is cool in itself. The fact I'm sitting here in a basement in Toronto speaking to Jennifer on the shores of Dublin,
can I turn around
Ireland.
and show you? Yeah.
Of course, there it is. So there you go. And Ireland is also an excellent groups destination. Let's do a bit of shameless plugging for the Irish here. If you're a rugby fan, I'm a rugby coach, and that's another big group department as well. Sports groups, but again, big rugby groups going across to Ireland in the UK, or not in the UK, Ireland and the UK, because it's obviously where rugby is very big as well. So any sporting groups is another big opportunity as well. So Jennifer, sorry, on that note, is there anything you would like to wrap up with as we hear the wind howling behind you?
Yeah, listen, just thank you, everyone. Please reach out. We're excited about groups. Don't be afraid of groups. If this is going to be your first group, let us know. And remember, we're here to help you and guide you from as I said, the start of the journey to the very end. And what I will say is one of the biggest satisfactions of being in the groups division is the amount of repeat business that we get. Once you get that first group off the ground, you're going to be back for more, because you're going to realize that, hang on a minute, this is actually pretty easy to do with the right partners. So, just reach out to us at any time.
Yeah, and that's also another good point, that quite a lot of the themes we've discussed today are transferable to many, many countries. So repeat businesses is there. It might seem daunting at first, but if you think about it, you create one itinerary to sell to 20 people. It's much easier, as it said earlier, than 20 itineraries to 20 different people. So again, I'd like to thank Jennifer for her time. What is the time in Ireland at the moment?
It is 4 o'clock, 4:05 in the afternoon.
And I'm speaking to her, Jennifer, at 11 o'clock in the morning here in Toronto. So I think Jennifer's off to the pub to have dinner and a beer. I'm going to go upstairs and get all this ready for our listening audience and try and edit out the Irish wind. So thank you very much, Jennifer. Appreciate your time from windy Dublin. And thank you, everyone, for listening in today. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Tom. Let's see how that works.